these various planes or levels of consciousness um, are, for example, Paramahansa Yogananda talks a great deal about his experience of cosmic consciousness. Cosmic consciousness would be a plane somewhere between this divine father and higher soul plane. In many of the experiences I've had, it's been the case that the higher soul or the I am has a form-based aspect and a formless aspect. So the formless is like what Master Cho described, this field of light that is extending through the universe of intelligence and power. But the form-based aspect has all the memories of your past, present, and future incarnations. But from that plane, they are experienced or they arise as simultaneous incarnations. Like from down here, it's linear, but from that plane, it appears that all those lives are happening in present time. So there's a form-based aspect to this higher self reality, which Robert Monroe calls the I there, or the it of me. He didn't feel that the word soul was appropriate because he experienced it as a particular structure. In his case, he described it as a computer mainframe in the way that I also have. So to continue, the soul is a spiritual energy with consciousness. It is a being of divine intelligence, divine love, and divine power. Imagine that you have a pitcher of water. The water in the pitcher represents the higher soul, which is spiritual energy with consciousness. In order to grow and evolve, the higher soul extends a portion of itself down to the lower worlds. Imagine that you have a pitcher of water, the water in the pitcher. Sorry, I think this is repeating itself. In order to grow and evolve, the higher soul extends a portion of itself down. Imagine that you pour the water into an empty cup. The cup symbolizes the body. The divine spark in every person is a part of God. It is made in the essence of God. The divine spark is one with God and one with all. The divine spark extends a portion of itself downward, manifesting as the higher soul. The higher soul extends a portion of itself downward, manifesting as the incarnated soul, you. In Hindu teachings, the incarnated soul is called Jivatma. It literally means embodied soul. So this is what I was indicating in a previous lecture when I said that it's likely impossible and possible that the higher self has its teacher or its higher self. In according to Cho Kuk Soy in the Theosophical Map, there's one level above that divine spark, which would be the supreme God or the supreme consciousness. But of course, that's just their map. There could be levels within that that are not necessarily delineated or that were written down or talked about. Charles Leadbeater talked about his experience of the divine spark or the monad, and he said it was like being the consciousness of the sun and having the collective experience or the simultaneous experience of all life forms in the solar system simultaneously. So already we're talking about, kind of inconceivable, incomprehensible levels of experience that, when you read those descriptions, and it just doesn't really make sense to our linear consciousness. The higher soul is called Atma. The divine spark is called Paramatma. This is why St. Paul said that you have a body, a soul, and a spirit. Here, spirit refers to the divine spark in each person. To achieve union with the divine spark or the divine father within you, you must first pass through the I am, or the higher soul. And here on the left is from Alice Bailey's Great Invocation from her, I think, 26 books of esoteric knowledge. That's called neo-theosophy, so newer theosophical teachings. The great invocation goes from the point of light within the mind of God. Let light stream forth into the minds of every person, every being. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of every person, every being. Let love descend on earth. May the world teacher return to earth. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the will of every person, every being. The purpose which the holy masters know and serve. Let goodwill and the will to do good descend on earth. From the center, which we call the human race, let the plan of love and light work out. May it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light, love, and power manifest the divine plan on earth. It was modified by Master Cho. So you can see how a lot of these phrases and themes that are very prominent in New Age teachings and New Age channeling come from theosophy. This great invocation is extremely old. I mean, at least relatively, when it comes to teachings that sound like this. You know, the purpose which the holy masters know and serve, the plan of love and light. Alice Bailey wrote her books. I think Consciousness in the Atom might have came out in 1920. So I recommend her work as well. It's a little hard to understand. Yeah, here in the left corner you see by Holy Master DK through Alice Bailey. So Alice Bailey's works were considered a channeled compilation of teachings. A couple more quotes from Master Cho, and then we'll get into this particular slide here. This goes back to the this actually that I mistakenly like double printed and lost track of where that was going. The higher soul and the incarnated soul are interconnected. At the same time, they are one. When a person lives a life of chaos, the incarnated soul gets disconnected from the higher soul. The incarnated soul becomes a lost soul. To use computer language, the higher soul is like the mainframe. It has a consciousness of its own. The incarnated soul is like the terminal that also has a life of its own. The incarnated soul, manifested as you, is a small portion of your higher soul. Unfortunately, when the lower soul incarnates, in many instances, it leads a life of uncontrolled passion. Out of ignorance of its true nature, it undergoes a lot of suffering because it identifies itself with the body and the emotions. The emotional body is also called the astral body because it is made of light. It looks like starry light. When the body sleeps, a large portion of the incarnated Buddha nature leaves the physical body and transfers to the emotional or astral body. There is nothing to be afraid of about leaving the body because a portion of the incarnated Buddha nature is left behind. Astral traveling is just like changing cars. You can ride a certain car in the daytime and use another car at night. How is it possible that a portion of the Buddha nature can be left behind in the physical body, while a large portion can be in the emotional body? You have to think of the Buddha nature as being as a being of spiritual energy that is fluidic. A portion of it can be here and another portion can be there at the same time, like electricity. When the body goes to sleep, you transfer from the physical body to the astral body. This is done all the time when a person goes to sleep. There are different signs that show you are transferring to the astral body. Sometimes while sleeping or meditating, the body might feel a strong energy vibration. and simultaneously there may be an inner sound that can be loud at times. There are signs that you are about to leave the physical body and transfer into the astral body. You should not panic nor be frightened. Just let go. Since a portion of the incarnated Buddha nature is left behind, the body is protected. Some people in the process of leaving their physical bodies while asleep would hear a buzzing sound similar to the bees or a jet plane. Others experience falling to the right or to the left side of the bed and suddenly are out of their bodies. A few people, when meditating or sleeping, would sometimes feel a whirling sensation and would whirl out of their bodies. Sometimes while sleeping, a person would experience swinging to the left and to the right, even touching the floor in the process, and then would swing out of the body. These are some of the processes through which you leave the physical body. When the physical body dies, the incarnated Buddha nature transfers to the astral body. In Sanskrit, the astral body is called kamakosha. Kama means emotions or desire, while kosha refers to the body. Kamakosha means the body of emotions. It is the subtle body of light that a person uses to travel in the bardo. Bardo refers to the different levels of the inner world after transition of the physical body. It is important to remember that in the inner world, the mind is very powerful. What you think is. And this is the final segment because this is related to the mainframe. Mental permanent seed. The mental permanent seed is a seed of consciousness which is located in the crown chakra and the pineal gland. The mental permanent seed is actually a mental permanent energy particle. It is the most important seed. It contains the pattern for the mental body. What is the subtle body called the mental body? Because in this subtle vehicle, knowledge or data equivalent to a book or several books can be symbolically tossed from one person to another person almost instantly. So Bob calls these rotes, which stands for a transfer of information. So in in Journeys Out of Body, Far Journeys, and in Ultimate Journeys, when he meets these entities that are from this mental level plane and they want to communicate with each other, they send him a kind of energy information packet. And when he receives the energy information packet and downloads it, he has an entire experience that unfolds. And in Far Journeys, one of these experiences, one of these rotes that was passed to him was an entity, non-physical, non-human entity perceived as the origins of life on Earth. So that's very interesting from Far Journeys. In this vehicle, the learning process and communication are accelerated at mind-boggling speeds. The vehicle is capable of feeling and doing other functions, but its main specialization is receiving, processing, and sending information. On the other hand, the specialization of the emotional body is that of feeling. The mental permanent seed also contains all the records of a person's past lives. This is how Buddha Shakyamuni was able to see or recall all of his past lives. The seed of consciousness, or the blue pearl, is connected with the higher Buddha nature, but it is not the Buddha nature. The blue pearl is like a computer terminal, while the higher Buddha nature is like the mainframe computer. Just as the terminal gives you access to the mainframe computer, the blue pearl, the pineal gland, by meditating on it, gives you access to your higher Buddha nature. You can also come into contact with great beings and spiritual gurus from whom you can receive priceless teachings and blessings. The higher Buddha nature may appear as a blue person. Should this happen, do not be surprised. This is why the medicine Buddha is blue. This is also why in the Indian tradition, Lord Rama and Lord Krishna are also blue. This does not mean that they have blue skin, but this is how they sometimes appear spiritually to disciples. And we'll get in now to this awesome AI image. that a friend made for me. It's based on this image actually. So this is from a book called Matrix 5, which is a lot it's primarily about higher self in the context of Robert Monroe's Journeys Out of Body and the Journeys trilogy.